Hey guys, welcome back to the Joy of Wrenching. My name's Les. I'm your friendly neighborhood mechanic. Today I'm here with Baylor of, what's the name of your channel, Baylor?
A Primal Life.
A Primal Life. Outdoor adventures, dog training, really good guy here. If you're into that sort of thing, check him out. And I'll put a link in the description to his channel. But we are here with his Dodge Ram 1500. It is a 2012 with 300,000 miles, and it has a dead fuel pump. So I want to show you guys how to drop the tank the quick and easy way, and Baylor's going to help us out. And so come on along and let's get into it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drop the fuel tank for this Ram 1500. Not a huge process. I don't know that I'll show every single detail, but I might, because kind of my way. But there are other ways to do it. You can take the bed off and get to the top of the fuel tank and the fuel pump for some models that way. I found that it's easier to drop the fuel tank out the bottom. Unfortunately, I think Baylor said that you filled up, what, a week, not but a couple days ago. Okay. Days. So we may have a pretty full fuel tank on our hands to deal with, but between the two of us, and we'll try to set you up on a tripod or something whenever we both got to have our hands in here. But I want to show you how easy this can be. So the first place to start in dropping the fuel tank is up here, right in front of the driver's rear wheel. And you'll see the inlet where you fill your gas. Right here, this pipe, there's a little worm clamp that has to come off right here. That's a 7mm. So you just get up there, loosen that thing up, and get that out of your way, and then pull this hose off of here. Now, since we've had this apart not too terribly long ago, God willing, everything should come a little bit easier this time. So let's see if this thing wants to come off nice and easy or not. Come on. Don't make a liar out of me.
I swore you lubed up everything we put it on last time.
Yeah, there it goes. Okay. All right. Now, next thing we need to do is you can just pull this off with your hand. It doesn't need any special tools for that. And then there's an electrical connector right here. And then this has to come apart. Oh, so let's get this electrical connector. You can come up over the top and just pick up on the little clasp. I'll show you here in a second and pull it back. So just pick up on this little tab right there and pull it back, and that'll come unplugged. And then this thing here, it's got one of these little clips that needs to be released. So you can just grab the little ears on either side and slide it back up off of itself. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. It's a little bit tricky. There goes our light. All right. I did get it while you, of course, weren't able to see. But basically, you just pull these little ears apart on either side and slide it back. And then you can push on this little white tab right here. Once that clip is out of the way, push on this white tab and pull at the same time. Let me get a tool. Sometimes those things are really difficult to move out of the way. Let me set this light somewhere. All right, let me put a little WD-40 on that thing. There we go. That WD-40 will get in there and loosen up some of that dirt that gets caked up in there, especially since Baylor here likes to go off-road all the time, making our job harder for us here.
She's a highway princess.
Yeah. All right, well, I wasn't getting anywhere with my hands, so I'm going to get in here with this fuel line release tool and try and slide it over that pipe and see if we can't get it up underneath the locking mechanism and get it to release that way. There it goes. All right, that worked. There we go. Now we're freed up here and we can go under the truck now and work on the tank itself. Okay, so we're going to work on our fuel tank now. And sure enough, I can feel that thing's full of gas. The first thing you want to undo is this clip right here, this line. So just pull the little ears back and you can remove the clip. And we'll set it somewhere safe where we won't lose it. And then again, it's got a push button that you can push. And as you push it, these little ears on the either side should widen out. And then let me set this down so I can pull. So push that tab on the top, the ear should widen out and allow it to release. There, just like so. There we go. All right. So that's the only thing up in the front side of this tank. This one has, how many gallons is this tank?
25 at
20.
least.
This has got the bigger fuel tank. Some of the Dodge Rams didn't have this big fuel tank, but this model does. The next thing that we need to come undo is back here. And if you look right back here, where my hand is,
Get there.
you might need to come over the back of the axle for this.
Yeah.
There we go. So there's a little electrical connector here. Just squeeze it, pull it off. Okay, squeeze and pull back. Let's tuck this out of the way, and we don't want to forget to plug that back in. But those lines that we took apart in front of the wheel well, they're all of this stuff here going that direction. And so all of that's undone. The next thing we need to do is start lowering our tank a little bit. And the way we do that is by loosening these strap retaining bolts. There's one here and one here. And then the tank can come down a little bit. When the tank comes down just enough, we can reach up on top here and we can get to the connectors at the fuel pump. And so we don't want to go down too far because you can stress the wires. You can pull on those wires and the fuel line, and you don't want to pull those loose. All right, so we're going to put this transmission jack here underneath our fuel tank just to support the weight as we take the bolts loose here from our tank straps. This thing's going to want to come down a little bit. We don't want it to come down. Again, it could pull the wiring to the electrical connector to the fuel pump, or it could pull the fuel delivery line as well. And so now I'm going to go ahead and loosen these bolts, or these nuts that are on these studs here. They are, I think, 16 millimeter, but Dodge still uses some Imperial sizes. These are 5/8 Imperial. So we're going to loosen those now. Need an extension and an impact probably. We'll just come down. Don't take it all the way off, just a little bit at a time. We'll leave it on a few threads there. And now we'll go ahead and lower the tank just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, now let's see. I want to see if I can get up and on top of here to the fuel pump. So now that we've lowered the fuel tank just a couple of inches, let me show you. You can come through here again in front of your rear driver's side tire and in between these two frame braces, and then look right up here. So bring the camera up here, Baylor, and look, and you can see on top of the fuel pump right up through there. And so what we've got to do is we've got to get our fuel line disconnected from there, and also the electrical connector disconnected from there. So I'm going to be putting my hand up in here to do those sort of things. You can't really see it too easily with my hand in the way, but you kind of saw where we're going. And once we get it down, I'll show you a little bit more in depth. But it's not too big of a deal here. There's a little security clip on the electrical connector that has to be slid to the side, and then the connector itself can be undone. Let me get a little pick or something to help slide that out of the way. Yeah, that's good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and undo our connections here at the top of the tank. You've got this electrical connector that has a little red tab that has to be pulled towards the driver's side, so you can get you a little pick or something like that. And then you'll need to release this tab, or to release this connector, you'll need to push down on its lock and then slide it back. And it might be a lot of dirt and stuff in here, and so you might find it easier. I'm trying to do this left-handed in a real awkward angle, but you might find it easier to slide underneath the connector to release it and pull it back at the same time. And it's kind of hard for me to do, but I'm trying to get you guys some good footage here. And we can drop this tank a little bit more and get a little bit better footage if we need to, I think. Baylor. There we go. All right. So I got the electrical connector undone now. And then you need to undo your fuel line, which is another one of those push to release type things. There's a little tab on the side of it. You just push it and pull it back. We put a little bit of WD on it just to loosen it up some. Man, everything's difficult. I have to do this no look technique here on this one, I think. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get up here and undo this fuel line now. Give it a good squeeze. Put a little WD on it. Sometimes that frees up the little clasps. They're much better. Oh, a little gas came spraying out at me. So it's retained a little bit of pressure back this direction, didn't it? Like,
Oh, here
like
it
we
comes.
showed on that gauge.
It's coming down.
Gas is coming down? Yeah,
It's
it's
getting ready
fine. That's okay. As long as we don't cause any sparks, we ought to be good. Let's go ahead and lower this tank down. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these straps completely. So we'll take our 5/8 nuts off of these studs. Here's one, and here's the other. I've got this transmission jack holding it up in place so it won't go anywhere. But Baylor and I are gonna lower it down together. And these straps here, once they come down, we'll get them out. There we go. Just push it back like that and it'll kind of be out of your way. Let me take this one down here. There we go. Now the weight of the tank is fully on our transmission jack. And as long as you put it here, right under where the fuel pump is, it's kind of centered up and it won't teeter-totter too much. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna release the pressure on the jack, which will let it start to come down a little bit. And then Baylor and I are gonna keep it from teeter-tottering. All right, just like that. Now I'm gonna stop it, okay? And now I'm gonna, is it wanting to come my way?
You're a little bit.
I'm just gonna look up on top here and double check and make sure that everything's unplugged, and everything is. The only thing that was up here was our electrical connector to our fuel pump. Let me move this way just a hair. There we go. Was the electrical connector to our fuel pump and the fuel line at the fuel pump. So now we're going to come down some more. You can go ahead and release the pressure on that real quick. All right, that's good. Looking good. I'm just looking on top, make sure we're not catching anything. Go ahead and stop real quick. There we go. Now I want to show you guys one thing. Let me turn on this light. Now, as you drop the tank, you'll see, can you hold it? Okay. As you drop the tank,
I got it.
you'll see back here, all of these lines that we took loose over here in front of the wheel well, they'll just start dragging over the top of this frame right here. Just make sure that those are coming down nice and safe and not getting hung up on anything. And you can see now our two connections that we had to undo. We had our electrical connector to the fuel pump and the fuel line that goes up to the front. And so everything looks nice and disconnected here. So we'll go ahead and I'll set you aside and we'll come on down. Make sure that get you in frame here. There we go. All right. Coming down. Make sure nothing's getting hung up. Yeah, go ahead. Perfect. Looking good. Keep on coming. Still good. Yeah. Let her go all the way down. Perfect. Okay, that's as far as it'll go. Now, as you guys can see, we have the tank fully dropped down from here, and we have full access now to our fuel pump, which sits under there. And we're going to see how heavy this thing is, and then we'll set it on the ground to work on it if it's not too bad. So can you pick up that end over there? Oh, yeah. Can you?
It's pretty heavy. Yeah, I pick it up.
All right, so can you pick it up and we'll just set it on the ground right there?
Yeah.
All right, lean it my way and I'll take more of the weight.
1, 2, 3.
Go ahead. Perfect.
Oh, that one.
That's it. Drop it. Good. That way it doesn't, try to fall off of this jack while we're working on it. And we'll get this out of our way. And now we've got good access here to our fuel pump. So let's go ahead and
Cut.
So let's go ahead and remove our fuel pump here. Now, if your truck is like this one, has been off road or it's been up there a while, you're going to have a lot of trash, dirt and rocks, debris, bird nests, whatever, stuck up here. So just make sure that you clean this area as best you can so that that doesn't fall into your fuel tank whenever you take this ring off and pull this out. So this one has been out not too long ago, so there's not a whole lot of junk up here, but just loosen up whatever trash there is and blow it off. I'm going to use some compressed air. Just try to clean that up a little bit. Now, this lock ring needs to be rotated in this way in order to release it. So get yourself a punch, or in this case, a big screwdriver, and just set it in one of these areas. Give it a couple whacks, and then come over to the other side of the ring and do it again. There you go. So that released the lock ring. Lift it up, and then slide it out from underneath this connector towards the front. There we go. And now our fuel pump. There's still some trash here, so let me blow that off before we completely. There we go. Now our fuel pump can come up and just wiggle it, and it'll pop right up. Sorry. I don't know if it's gas fumes or just tickling my throat. All right, so there we go. There's our fuel pump. And we can raise her up like that, and you'll see. Now this one's different. Looky there. Mm-hmm. There's a fuel pressure regulator here on this one, and we'll pull it out and take a look at it in closer detail. But let me get a bucket because these things retain a lot of gas, and we'll need to catch that gas before we come out of here. But I did notice another thing, like the little float seemed like it was hanging up. So that might explain your gas gauge not working. All right, so I've got a little container here. We can set this thing in once we get it up and out. There we go. It's going to bring a bunch of gas with it. Ain't got no gas in it. This one's got plenty of gas in it, doesn't it?
She's full.
She is full. All right, there we go. Just let some of it drizzle back in before I pull it out. Try not to make too big of a mess, although we've already been huffing enough gas fumes to feel like we've been at some kind of a rave. All right, there we go. Let's set this aside for now. You can take a look down inside of there. Look and see, make sure it's good and clean. Don't see a bunch of trash or any loose parts from your old fuel pump sitting in there. And of course, you'll want to remove and replace the O-ring. The new fuel pumps always come with a new one. So we'll do that. And then this little ring right here where this O-ring sits down inside, we want to make sure that we clean that groove out real nice and get all of this dirt and junk out of here. So we'll do that next. All right, before we go in with the new part, let's just take a look at these two. Now, obviously, they're different. This is the new part that we're going back in with. And all these guts and things in here can be different. What really is important is that your connectors are the same. They got the same number of pins in the same location and connect the same way, which they do, and that your fuel outlet is in the same place and all of that. So they are. So we're going to go in with the new part here. And again, we're going to put a new O-ring in place. Now, in order for that O-ring to seat correctly and also for the lock ring to slide a little bit better, I like to put a little bit of Vaseline. Petroleum jelly, I guess, would be the non-branded name of this stuff on here. This is petroleum in there, so petroleum jelly is fine to use for this. And we're just going to set that there. And again, it just for extra lube, help it seat so it doesn't kind of bunch up as we're starting to tighten it in place. And we'll take our new pump. And all you got to do is just put your put your float in there first like that. And then make it straight up and down. Remember, it's got this outlet faces towards the front of the vehicle. And just sink it in there. Make sure your O-ring's in place. And then this last little bit is spring loaded. So you'll have to push it down. And then you'll see this little notch here fits in between two of these metal catches. So that's there. Take your lock ring. And again, slip it on from the front towards the back, and it goes underneath this connector right here. And line up these openings here to where they're going to be able to get caught under the edge, just like that. So we just start it under the edge, and then back at it with your punch, or in this case, big screwdriver, and you want to move your lock ring in this direction so that these catches slide all the way back. So we'll give it a couple of love taps in this direction. And come over to the other side. It'll be real tough to keep doing that from one side. What happens is it kind of gets bound, and so you'll find that you need to move back and forth in order to get these lock rings to snap in place right. There you go. See, it's almost there. You want to do it until this lock goes all the way to the end of that till this lock goes all the way to the end of that notch. Move back over to this other side, finish it up. Back over to this side. There we go. See that? Now it's all the way seated on that side. And double check this. Perfect. Good. Okay, so we've got the new pump in. We got our new float assembly on. A lot of them will come. By the way, I forgot to mention this. A lot of them will come with this float detached from this little arm. This is the float that tells it how much gas is in there. A lot of times it'll be detached and separate in the box, and so you'll have to take it and set it into the hole there, and then it'll slide into place. Put it in that center hole there, slide into place, and then it'll snap into that and hold itself in place. But the one that we just got was already in place, so we didn't have to put it together like that. But this is back together and ready to go back into the truck. All right, so we're ready to go back in. These things, if they come out, just slide them back in. No big deal. We're ready to come back in, and we've bent these things straight so that they'll slide down over the outside edge of the tank, and we've lined up the tank to where these things are going to go, generally where they need to go to cradle underneath the gas tank. We've got our new fuel pump in. The only thing we really got to watch, Baylor, is while we're going up, we want to try to get these things kind of pointed up and over that frame rail where they've got to go back towards the...
And that goes all the way up over this main rail, right?
Yeah, it goes all the way up and over this right here.
Okay.
So we'll wait until we get the tank about this high, and then we can set these things where they need to be.
Okay.
All right, so let's start. Can you pump on that tank and jack it up a little bit? We'll speed this up in post-processing.
You can always speed it up. You can't always slow it down.
That's right. Well, we don't want to have anything funky go on to where we need slow-mo. No drama is a good thing. All right, let me get these hoses out and start pointing them up in the right direction here. They're flexible, so they'll move. You don't have to worry about it. Keep on jacking her up. Looking good. Looking good. Up here. Oh, it's leaning back quite a bit.
Which way?
It's leaning towards you just a little bit.
I was pulling on it.
Oh, you're pulling? I
was afraid that it was going to go going your way.
No, it's good. All right, go ahead and keep on jacking up. Perfect. Go ahead and just make sure that those hoses are going over the top of the frame rail. Let me bring this camera in here so I can show you what we're doing. But yeah, see, just make sure that those hoses go that direction. And then They don't have to be a specific location. Just make sure that they're going back over that frame rail just right there. And then now that we're getting closer, you can see over here where our electrical connector and our fuel line connector are. We'll jack it up just a little bit more. That way we can start connecting those where we can actually see what we're doing. So go ahead and go up a little bit more. Yeah, we're getting good and close now. All right, that's probably good. All right, hold what you got. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're going to connect our connections up here. We've got the electrical connector, which now that we're high enough, we can slide on. And you want to feel that positive click of that thing coming into place. And that way you can be sure that it's locked on. You might have to wiggle and push, especially if there's any dirt or anything in there. Okay. And then the fuel line will come in here and just snap in place and give it a pull. Make sure it's not going to pull back off. There we go. That one's on good. And let's double check our connection here, electrical connection. All right. Yeah, that's on there. Not coming off. That's good. All right. Then you can push your little red lock tab back. Lock it in place. Now we're ready to jack the tank up the rest of the way. Yep. All right. Yeah, go ahead and pump it up there, Baylor. We'll put it all the way back up into its position, and it'll hit these cross members and stop moving higher. And as long as we've got it oriented where the straps are where they're supposed to be, we can put the straps in place. There we go. That's probably pretty good. You feel like you're hitting something? Mm-hmm. I think you're in the right spot. I think that's as high as it's going to go.
Oh, really?
So take this strap and try and bend it up through here, and then see if you can get it to go back on that stud. Let's see if I can show you guys what we're doing here. So he's trying to put it on that stud there.
This needs to go a little bit that way.
All right. So let me set this camera down just for a second here. Try and do it in such a way that we can still catch as much of this as possible for TV.
So there I tell people, so what are you doing? Trying to become a movie star.
That's right. There we go. Okay. So it needs to come your way just a little bit.
This way.
Oh, towards the frame rail. So I'm going to grab the tank and pull it this way.
Right there.
Okay. Now
it needs to go forward.
the tank needs to go forward?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of pressure off the tank. Just a little bit. There we go. That way it's not pushing against the frame rails too hard. Let me take a little bit more. There we go. Okay.
Now it needs to go back that.
How's that?
I'm still about half an inch off.
Take a look. Push up on this. Push in at the same time. Just kind of got to manhandle it a little bit.
I feel like it's like
Wiggle it around some. There we go. All right, I've got the nut here. I'm going to go ahead and start it onto the threads of this. There we go. Now that one's in place. Let me show you what we just did. So we just had to manhandle it, like I said, a little bit until we could get this hole in this strap to go back on the stud. And now we're going to do the same over here on this one, and then we will be able to get this thing back in place. Now, unfortunately, we put the transmission jack here where it's kind of in the way of this strap, so we're going to slide that transmission jack just back a little bit so that we can get that strap back where it needs to be. So we need to move our transmission jack. We put it in the way of this strap, so we're going to scooch it back just a little. So I'm going to take some of the pressure off here and just pull it back your way a little bit there, Baylor. All right.
I'm going to
it doesn't want to move, so we'll leave some pressure off of it. Go ahead. All right, push it back towards the back. There you go. Give it some more pressure. Perfect. Good. All right, go ahead and pump it up some more. That way it gets a little closer. That's good. Now we'll take this one here, and again, we're just gonna bend it back into shape. Put it back up through here, and try to get it on there. Might take a little bit of waggling it around again. Let me take some of the pressure off here. Just a second. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, there's that one. Let me get the little nut out of my pocket here. Got to dig in my pocket for my nut. Get it started on there. There we go. Perfect. All right, cool. Now we can take and we can tighten these things up. But before we tighten anything, we just want to give a good visual around the top. Just make sure nothing got pinched. So sometimes you can see there's these lines and things like that that run along the tank. Just make sure that they didn't get moved and somehow pinched up in here underneath the frame rail. If something like that happens, you might end up with, you know, low fuel pressure or a leak or something like that. So we're just going to go around the tank and we're going to look for any disconnects or anything that got pinched where it shouldn't be. The other place you want to look is along here between the frame rail and the tank, just to make sure that nothing got tangled up in there. All right, one more thing you want to check is just to make sure your hoses are coming through where they're supposed to be and that you can reconnect them over here. All of these are nice and where they're supposed to be and not bound. So we're safe to go ahead and secure our straps a lot better. Again, those are 5/8 size nuts on these studs. And so we'll come over here and we'll buzz these up. Need an extension. Impact helps a lot here. There we go. That's all. Once it bottoms out, you're tight. Now that the straps are in place, everything's held up on its own, we can remove our transmission jack and get it out of our way. And now we'll go back around the tank and reconnect everything we undid. So the first thing I want to do is back here, our electrical connector. Remember, we set it up here, and it just comes back over here and plugs in right there. So nice satisfying click. That's back together. The other thing that we undid on this tank was up here in the front, this vapor line right here. So you just come in here, put your little red clip back on it. You can put a little bit of WD or whatever on here if you want. And that'll just help it snap together. Just make sure that it has that satisfying click. Give it a little tug, make sure it won't come back apart. That's back together. And now we go under the wheel well and reconnect our filler hose and our vent hose. So let's see if we can get you some light in here. There we go. All right. So these all need to get reconnected. So the first thing that I'm going to do is going to be the last thing that we did, which is this little vent hose here. Push that back in place and it'll snap. Give it a tug, make sure it don't want to come off. Our electrical connector, we'll just push that back in until it snaps in place, and that's good. All right, now next thing we need is our filler hose. Set that back onto the filler neck. Give it a little wiggle. Take our hose clamp, slide it back where it goes. May have to open this hose clamp up a little bit more so it'll slide back over that. All right, let's finish these hoses up here. So we were on our filler neck here, and let's see if I can get this hose clamp to go back over. I'm gonna loosen up just a little bit more. It's a 7 millimeter. There we go. Put it back where it was. And I like to orient it so that it'll be easy to get to again if we ever have to go back in here. And we already have. So I'm glad that I did it that way. All right, that's good and tight. And then last hose here is going to be this little breather hose, and it just pushes on right there. So just line that up, give it a wiggle, push it home. Done. Hopefully this helped you guys. Thank Baylor too. And by the way, Baylor, do us a favor and tell us a little bit about your channel. I'm sorry, I didn't get a
Les
chance to
has
do
been a
that.
big inspiration for my channel, actually. He's kind of given me the heroic, or whatever you want to say it, to step out and do it. So I just started my channel doing hunting, fishing. Obviously, I get off road a lot, and just anything outdoors is kind of what I specialize in. Dogs specifically, I like to hunt.
You're
birds
quite a
and
dog
dogs.
trainer. I mean,
Yeah.
you're an accomplished dog trainer. You know,
Getting to be accomplished.
you're
I'm young, so I'm learning a lot. But
Well,
yeah, I've actually had a little bit of success with my puppy that I have now. It's a fourth or fifth puppy I've trained, and it's going to be competing for a first place trophy here in a couple weeks
Awesome.
at the dog trials in Tulsa.
super
So,
cool. Well,
Excited.
awesome. Tell them what your channel is.
My channel is A Primal Life, so go check it out.
Primal Life. All right, I'll put links in the description to all this stuff. But you guys check him out. Yeah, if you're into outdoorsy stuff, you're gonna love the stuff that he does.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, there you go, guys. As you can see, dropping the tank on one of these trucks is not that bad. Really appreciate Baylor's help today. A Primal Life. Again, I'll put a link in the description to his channel. You'll really like some of his videos. Very informative, very entertaining. But the outdoor adventure rig, what do you call this? Does she have a name?
She's had multiple names.
What's her name?
Red, Yeti,
Okay.
just random stuff people
Well,
name it.
regardless of what you call her, she's seen 300,000 miles, and he uses it. He uses the heck out of it, and it's ready to go for another 300,000 miles, hopefully. Thank you for your help with the tank, man. I couldn't have done it without me. And you guys, do yourselves a favor if you can. I know sometimes the fuel pump dies on you, but if you can, run that tank down low so you're not having to deal with the heavy weight of that large tank full of gas. Thank you all for your time. Y'all have a wonderful day, and God bless.
Thanks, Les.